My childhood friend with autism has always seen me as her only light since we were little. But as we grew up, I started to avoid her because of her condition. It wasn't until she rushed into the fire to go to death with me that I realized just how much she, in her obsession, truly loved me. So, when I returned to college, I immediately ran to the school gate to find her. At the moment she saw me, the dead silent lake in Wen Si Ning's eyes rippled. She stared at me intently. It was as if I were the only person in her world. But then she remembered what I had told her before, that she shouldn't appear in front of me. Ning took a step back, wanting to leave, but her mind and legs had conflicting thoughts. After stepping back, she froze stiffly in place. She lowered her head, pressed her lips together, and said, "I'm sorry." I was stunned for a moment. I don't understand why she has to apologize to me. I really didn't expect that our first meeting would start with an apology. After saying that, she fell silent and stared at the ground. She fell back into her own world again. I knew she had autism since we were kids. Before we met, she wouldn't even speak a word. She would stare at the floor all day, lost in thought. No matter what Wen Si Ning's parents said to her, she showed no response. The doctor said this was because she was immersed in her own world. But as long as I appeared in front of her, her eyes would surely follow me. Later, I accompanied her for a while during her treatment, and her condition improved significantly. She became willing to speak. However, after we fell out of touch, I rarely heard about her condition. I have no idea how she is doing now. I looked at Wen Si Ning and gently asked, "Did you come to find me?" Wen Si Ning still kept her head down, staring at the ground, remained silent all the time. Si Ning shook her head again, until 3 minutes passed. She finally pursed her lips and nodded. I gently asked again, "So, did you come to see me for something?" Si shook his head again. I stood awkwardly in place, remembering the fire in my past life. The image of Si Ning rushing into the fire with me to go to death made my aversion to her lessen somewhat. But after rebirth, when I saw her with my own eyes, I felt that thousands of words were hard to express. For a moment, we looked at each other in silence. The atmosphere fell into an eerie silence. I scratched the back of my head, not knowing how to start. Wen Si Ning stared at the ground, seeming lost in thought. It felt like she could look like this all day. But the emperor isn't anxious, the eunuch is anxious. The driver standing by the car looked at our situation, feeling really anxious in his heart. "Miss, you should come to Mr. Liu's school gate every week to take a look. It's not easy to see someone now. How can we not talk? Just saying, 'I miss you,' would be fine." Suddenly, Si Ning's stomach growled. It broke the stiff and awkward atmosphere. I smiled and asked, "Are you hungry? You haven't had lunch yet, right?" Si Ning's long eyelashes. Finally, her head lifted from the ground. She looked at me in confusion. She answered softly, then continued staring blankly at the ground. I tapped my forehead. I almost forgot her thought process is different from ordinary people. Ordinary people would just go eat when they're hungry. But in her perception, that's not the case. I smiled and took her hand. "Let's go. I'll take you to lunch." After saying that, I pulled her toward the dining hall. The sun was high. Her eyes slowly shifted to our tightly held hands. A faint smile appeared on her lips. The driver saw us leaving and quickly followed. To prevent any accidents from happening to the young lady, the master and mistress have ordered her to stay closely by the young lady's side. When we arrived at the dining hall, it happened to be the peak time after class, and we saw a beautiful girl walk in. All the students' eyes turned to her at once. As for the gazes from everyone, I didn't really feel anything. But Wen Si Ning bit her lips nervously, and her body shrank closer to me. Seeing Wen Si Ning frown, the driver behind us felt it was not good, and quickly picked up his pace to catch up. I turned to Wen Si Ning and gently asked, "What do you like to eat?" Wen Si Ning's head began to throb painfully, her brows filled with frustration, when my voice suddenly reached her, causing her to be momentarily stunned, and then her agitation settled down. She stared blankly at me. She did not answer my question. I know her temperament. I didn't really want her to answer. I just felt it was not nice to leave her unattended. So I started mumbling to myself. "I remember that you used to like to take the braised pork from my bowl. Do you still like braised pork now?" Listening to my words, her response felt like a gentle spring breeze. It suppressed her restless emotions. Her furrowed brow gradually relaxed, as if her eyes could only accommodate me. The gazes around us became numb. The driver saw Wen Si Ning's emotions calm down again. He had just taken a few steps and abruptly stopped. His eyes were filled with shock. When the young lady has an onset of illness, if she doesn't hurt herself, then she might hurt those around her. Every time it takes a Herculean effort. It takes a Herculean effort to calm someone down. Yet this time, next to Mr. Liu, surprisingly, she calmed down in less than 2 minutes. She finally understood why. The lady constantly talked about Mr. Liu. At the dining hall's serving window, I ordered a portion for myself. Eggplant, potatoes, and a portion of braised pork. I also ordered the same dishes for Wen Si Ning. However, considering her small appetite, I reduced her portion of potatoes. Of course, I used my student card. "Now let's take the trays to the table to eat." I taught her how to carry the tray step by step. I had just pulled my hand away from Wen Si Ning's. Her brows immediately knitted together. She stuffed her hand back into my palm. My hand was warmly enveloped. Only then did her brows relax. I pulled my hand away and said, "You need to carry the tray now, we can't hold hands." Immediately grabbed hands again. I pulled away again. She grabbed my hand again. Over and over, she refused to let go. I felt somewhat helpless about her difficult nature to communicate. This was also the reason I used to dislike her. If it were my past self, I would have been impatient by now. Now, I have more patience than before. If we're holding hands, then so be it. However, Wen Si-ning noticed me frown. It sank slightly. Her expression showed a subtle panic. She knew this was a sign that I was angry. Because she wouldn't listen. I would end up disliking her. But she couldn't control herself. She wanted to hold my hand. To keep holding it indefinitely. But I would hate her and make her leave. I would never speak to her again. When Wen Si-ning thought about this, her head started to ache again. It felt like several needles were stabbing her at once. The pain made her clench her fists against herself. She punched her temple hard. This sudden action startled me. And the driver, who was hiding at a distance, was watching over. She hurried over. I quickly held Wen Si-ning's hand and said softly, "It's okay, it's okay. We won't let go." We kept holding hands. The driver was clearly very experienced with this situation. He took out a bottle of medicine from his pocket to give to her. "Miss, I brought some medicine. It will stop the pain if you take it." She paid attention to the driver. It took her a while to realize what was happening. She stared at me with a hoarse voice. "Really?" I was momentarily stunned before recalling our earlier conversation. She quickly lifted our tightly held hands in front of her eyes. "Really? Look." Seeing this, Wen Si-ning pursed her lips. They slightly lifted. The hand that was hitting her head also came down. She obediently stood next to me. The driver was stunned again. This is the first time I've seen her calm down so quickly after an episode. This time, she doesn't even need to take any medicine. In the blink of an eye, I saw myself holding a tray with one hand. The driver quickly reached out to take it. "Mr. Liu asked me to do it. You and the young lady can just sit over there." I realized it was indeed inconvenient to use just one hand. I nodded in agreement. "Then I'll trouble you with that. Thank you." After saying that, I took Wen Si-ning with me. We went to a corner table and sat down. The driver brought over 2 meals after a short while. I nodded to the driver and said, "Thank you. You didn't have lunch either, right? How about I give you my meal card? You can go get yourself a meal." The driver quickly shook his head. No need. I'll just have a piece of bread later. I know that the Wen family has many rules. So I won't force her." After sitting down, I handed the chopsticks to Wen Si-ning. 8. Wen Si-ning looked at the chopsticks and then at me. After a while, she slowly took the chopsticks. I also picked up the chopsticks with my left hand and started eating. I'm not left-handed. It's just that in the past, Wen Si-ning would also do this. Even eating had to be done while holding her hand. After doing it many times, I developed the skill to eat with my left hand. Wen Si-ning eats very slowly. Even a single bite of food takes a long time to chew and swallow. She would even zone out in the middle of eating. I turned to glance at her. Seeing her chopsticks holding a piece of meat while she was dazed, I knew she had drifted off again. Seeing this, I called out to remind her. "Courtyard. First, finish your meal." She heard the voice and her eyelashes fluttered. Slowly put the meat into her mouth. Just as I was eating silently, a pair of chopsticks reached into my plate. It picked up a piece of eggplant. I glanced at Wen Si-ning. "Didn't you still have eggplant left on your plate?" Si-ning didn't respond. She picked up a bit more from my plate. I was at a loss whether to laugh or cry. I could only move the dish closer to her. It was already a bit closer. The Wen family lives in Lu City. I study at university in Yun City. Although it's a neighboring city, but it still takes over 4 hours to drive back. If I don't go back now, it'll be too late. I took Wen Si-ning to the school gate and said to the driver, "Could you please take her home?" The driver waved his hand. "It's my duty. Mr. Liu, you don't need to be polite." Wen Si-ning heard my words. She knew that we were about to part. She tightened her grip on my hand. I felt the strength in her hand. I turned and caught her reluctant gaze. Over the past decade or so, I often saw such gazes. I was momentarily stunned. I remember the last time I saw such eyes in my previous life. Her tone softened a bit. "You should go home now. If you don't go back soon, Auntie will start to worry." Ning shook her head. I patted her head and said with a smile, "You have to be obedient." Her eyes lit up. Her stubborn expression also softened. Brother Qing Yu actually patted her head. In the past, when I coaxed her into doing something, I would reach out and pat her head. Just a mid-game. Just the country. After my actions were mocked by friends, I never patted her head again. "Go back. Remember to text me when you get home to let me know you're safe. Do you understand? Text me." Wen Si-ning's attention was diverted. She stared blankly and asked again, "Will Brother Qing Yu reply?" I nodded and made an affirmative sound. Upon hearing this, Wen Si-ning gently pressed her lips together, although her expression remained stiff. But I can still see the small curve at the corners of her lips. I know that she is happy. Wen Si-ning is sitting upright in the backseat. She lets the driver take her home. Mom said if you miss someone, you can send a message to them. But she sent many messages to Qing Yu brother. But he hasn't replied. No, this time he will reply. She tightly clenches her phone in her palm. Excited, she wants to get home quickly to message me. After watching Wen Si-ning leave, I went back to the dorm. Just as I entered the dorm door, Chen Feng came at me, gritting his teeth. "Confess for leniency, resist for strictness." He said, "Where did you pick up that girl?" I was a bit confused. "What girl?" Chen Feng glanced at me. "It's the one you were with in the dining hall. People from the next dorm told me. They said you were eating in the dining hall with a beautiful girl. I heard there's someone else too. Apparently, he is willing to be a simp, serving you and that beautiful girl." Chen Feng's words severely made me realize how rumors are generated. I immediately debunked the rumor online. What does that have to do with anything? She is just my friend. The other woman is just her family's driver. I'm not caught between the two women either. Chen Feng made a gesture of clasping his hands together, with a face full of disbelief. Would friends hold hands like this? I helplessly explained to him. We are not holding hands tightly. Moreover, her situation is a bit special. She has autism. Most of the time, you have to coax her. Otherwise, she will have an onset of illness. Chen Feng's first reaction was like others. The expression upon learning that Wen Xining is ill. Surprised sympathy, just right. Such a beautiful girl. Her looks could easily outshine all the girls in our school. Who would have thought she would have a mental illness? Chen Feng clicked his tongue twice. I feel it's somewhat regrettable. My brows furrowed slightly. I had heard others discussing Wen Xining before. At that time, I didn't care at all. But today, hearing it again, I surprisingly feel a twinge of discomfort in my heart. On the other side, Wen Xining returned home at 6 in the afternoon. Xining got home at 6 as well. Su Wei, after receiving the call that the driver was about to arrive, began to stretch her neck and wait for him at the door. Soon, a black car slowly stopped at the entrance. Su Hui's face lit up with joy as she immediately went to greet it. She saw her daughter staring at her phone, lost in thought. She had gotten used to this situation long ago. Her daughter wouldn't pay attention to her when she was daydreaming. But she still habitually talked to her ear. What if, while talking, her daughter's illness got better? Ning, did you have a good time today? Are you hungry? Mom will go make dinner right now. How about making your favorite braised pork? Ning, let's get out of the car first. Can we think about it more when we get home? Wen Ning blinked and woke up from her daze. Su Wei looked at her happily. When she thought her daughter was going to answer her, Wen Ning quickly got out of the car and hurried home. Su Wei didn't understand Wen Ning's actions. She followed her inside the house. Ning just stood at the entrance. She didn't step any further inside. Her thumb tapped around on the screen. Then she started to zone out while looking at her phone. Her behavior was strange. But Su Wei still noticed her slightly upturned lips. This was a sign that she was in a good mood. Her daughter was happy. As a mother, she naturally felt happy too. She smiled and looked at her phone. She wanted to know what she was doing. However, after glancing at the content on the screen, the corners of her mouth that had been lifted suddenly froze. The screen displays the chat page with Lu Qingyu. The latest message is one that Wen Xining just sent. I have returned home. Above that are all the messages she sent. It's raining heavily in Yun City today. These messages have one thing in common. It's that they all have a bright red exclamation mark in front of them. Because I had already deleted her contact information. But Wen Xining doesn't understand what this exclamation mark means. 9. Yet she still sends me messages from time to time. If it were a normal person, how could they not understand the meaning behind it? But her daughter is not. Su Hui's eyes turned sour. She covered her mouth and quietly started to sob. Ning, let's go eat first. Maybe after we eat, Brother Qingyu will reply to you. Her voice choked as she gently comforted her daughter. She reached out to take her to sit on the sofa. Her palm just touched Wen Ning's arm. She stepped aside, her brows tightly knitted. Brother Qingyu said he would reply. She needs to wait. If Brother Qingyu knows she isn't waiting, if she's not obedient, he will ignore her. Just like last time when she didn't listen. Would she never see Brother Qingyu again? Seeing her agitated emotions, Su Wei immediately compromised and said in a panic. Okay. We will wait. Let's not eat for now. It has been 3 hours. Looking at Wen Ning still standing at the entrance staring at her phone. She didn't want to come in and didn't eat either. Su Wei fell into her husband's arms, tears streaming down her face. Wen Gojung patted his wife's shoulder to comfort her. Don't worry. Ning has been like this more than once or twice. She will be fine in a moment. You should eat something first. Don't let yourself get too hungry. How can I not worry? In the past, after Ning sent a message, at most she would put down her phone in an hour. But now it has been 3 hours. Su Wei hurriedly took out her own phone. I need to call Qingyu. Hearing this, Wen Gojung frowned. What are you doing? Didn't we agree not to disturb the child anymore? Su Wei choked on her words and shouted. I can't care about that anymore. Seeing her daughter like this, how can a mother stay indifferent? She then dialed the phone. Meanwhile, I was playing a game with Chen Feng. I was taken aback when I saw it was Su Wei calling. I remembered the last time I saw Aunt Su was in high school. During college, Aunt Su would occasionally call me. But we only talked about Wen Ning. Because she refused treatment when she had an onset of illness. She wanted me to persuade her. However, I turned all that down. Because I didn't want to see Wen Ning anymore. Gradually, Su Wei rarely called me anymore. Now she's calling me. Could it be that Wen Ning had another onset of illness? With that thought, I quickly answered the call. Aunt Su. Su Hui's voice was laced with a hint of sobbing. Aunt knows that Ning doesn't understand. She has hurt you before. It's only natural that you hate her. But you're the only one who can persuade Ning. It's fine if you don't want to see her. Just say a few words to her. Just let her cooperate with the treatment. I heard her crying and hurried to comfort her. Aunt, did something happen to Ning? Please tell me. I'll see if I can help. Su Wei looked at Wen Ning, who was still standing at the entrance with teary eyes. She has been staring blankly at her phone since she got home today. She stood at the entrance for a full 3 hours without moving. Didn't even have dinner. She sent you a message. Aunt knows you deleted her. But she doesn't understand. I was taken aback for a moment. Then I remembered that it was indeed the case. Filled circle that time in high school when I was angry. I deleted all her contact information. Over time, I completely forgot. I had told Wen Ning to text me after she got home. I would reply. She stared at her phone. She wouldn't be waiting for my reply, right? I spoke up immediately. Auntie, can you send me Wen Ning's phone number? I'll add her as a friend again. When Su Wei heard I was willing to help persuade Si Ning, she quickly sent me the phone number. She even helped Wen Si Ning approve the friend request. Wen Si Ning's profile picture was the default one, a gray silhouette. It really suited her personality. I smiled and then replied to her, "Are you home?" I pretended not to know she was there. The fact that she stood at the entrance for 3 hours. Suddenly, a new message appeared in the chat window. Her dull, lifeless eyes suddenly lit up. The corners of her lips also curled up. Brother Ching Yu replied to her. After a while, she came out of her happy mood. She slowly replied to me with a simple, This time she didn't wait long. I almost replied instantly. "So, have you had dinner? Remember to eat, okay?" Dinner. Si looked up in confusion. She met the worried gazes of Su Wei and Guo Zheng. She couldn't understand. But she still opened her mouth to speak. "I want to have dinner." Su Wei was overjoyed. Wiping away her tears, she immediately ran to the kitchen. "Mom will heat up dinner and bring it right away." Wen Guo Zheng was happy to see his daughter recovering. He was in a good mood. But on the other hand, he felt a bit melancholic. His daughter, whom he had raised for over a decade, wouldn't listen to him. Instead, she only listened to Lu Qing Yu. Should it be said that she's turning her elbow outward? But soon, this feeling of melancholy disappeared. He waved at Wen Si Ning. He waved to Wen Si Ning. "Come sit at the dining table for dinner." Zhou Xing walked slowly. Her eating movements are slow and methodical. Moreover, they're well planned. She takes her first bite of rice. She calculates how much rice to eat with which dish. How much she needs. Everything must be done according to the requirements. These actions appear very strange to others. But Su Wei does not mind. As long as her daughter is willing to eat, that's all that matters. 15 minutes later. Only a small portion remains in Rong's plate. Wen Si Ning picks it up with her chopsticks. Together with the last bit of rice in her bowl, she eats it down. She precisely clears both the plate and the bowl at the same time. She puts down her chopsticks. She immediately takes out her phone to report to me. "Dinner is finished." I reply in an instant again. "Awesome." Upon receiving the compliment, Wen Si Ning's lips curl up happily again. There seems to be a hint of pride in her expression. She then turns and heads upstairs. Su Wei grabs her husband's arm. Excitedly, she says to him, "Hubby, when I used to call Qing Yu, he always rejected me. But he agrees to help now. Does this mean he has forgiven Si Ning? If I ask him to accompany Si Ning to the hospital for treatment, would he also agree?" Guo Zheng patted his wife's shoulder. "Don't rush, take your time. We'll know clearly after observing for another 2 days. This way, we won't have our hopes shattered again." The other student dormitory, Yin. My sleepy way of sleeping. That scene from my past life reappeared in my mind. 2 cars collided at the intersection. The ground was covered in shocking crimson. Although my vision was blurry, I could still see that rough outline. Wen Si Ning held me tightly, not the slightest bit afraid of the raging fire. The firelight around illuminated her face. Those clear eyes reflected my figure entirely. Until the fire engulfed us. I suddenly opened my eyes and my back was drenched. I wiped the cold sweat from my forehead. I picked up the phone that was by the pillow. I opened it to take a look. The time displayed was 3 in the morning. Just as I was planning to go back to sleep, I vaguely remembered Wen Si Ning from my dream. By the time I snapped back to reality, I had inexplicably sent her a message. "Are you asleep?" Realizing what I had done, I tapped my forehead. Just as I was about to retract the message, I received a reply from her. Si Ning replied to me. "No." I blinked at the message in disbelief. I confirmed that I hadn't misread the time. It was 3 in the morning, not 3 in the afternoon. Waking from the dream, I suddenly wanted to chat with her. "Why aren't you asleep yet? What are you doing?" Wen Ning replied instantly. "I'm lying in bed." I felt a bit puzzled. "What are you doing lying in bed?" After a moment, I remembered. Ordinary people lying in bed are either on their phones or doing something else. And she was just lying on the bed, simply lying there. Doing nothing at all. Most likely daydreaming. When I was 8 years old, Si Ning once stayed overnight at my house. Although it was called an overnight stay, she was just clinging to me and unwilling to go home. Su Wei had just separated us. When Si Ning started hitting her head and yelling in the onset of illness, I could only leave her at my house. At that time, we slept on the same bed. That night, I woke up in the middle of the night from needing to pee. When I opened my eyes, I saw her pair of round and bright eyes staring at me. I asked her, "Why aren't you sleeping?" Little Si Ning spoke hesitantly and stuttered, "I am sleeping." I stretched out my little paw to cover her eyes. "You need to close your eyes to sleep. Just like this." I saw her eyes move. "I love the road." "No." I also contentedly closed my eyes. Slowly, both of them fell asleep. I chuckled softly as I reminisced about that time. I sent her a message. "You have to close your eyes to sleep." Wen Si Ning replied immediately. "I know. Brother Qing Yu taught." I don't know why. I always feel there's a hint of pride in this sentence. "Then close your eyes and go to sleep obediently now." I sent a sticker of a mama panda touching her baby panda's head. A sticker for coaxing someone to sleep. Although she couldn't understand it, I felt that this sticker perfectly captured the mood of the moment. I just sent it in and went. Wen Si Ning was indeed puzzled for a moment upon receiving the sticker. She could understand the meaning of every word, but she didn't understand the meaning of these images. But it seemed like it was about touching heads. Her eyes suddenly lit up, like stars twinkling in the night sky. Brother Qing Yu wanted to touch her head. Under the darkness, her cheeks flushed. I stared at that emoji for a long time. So long that I fell asleep again. The phone screen beside my pillow lit up. Another emoji of someone scratching their head was sent over. The next day I was lying in bed, baking. The phone rang with a message notification. Groggily, I reached for my phone. It was a message from Su Wei. Have you and Si Ning finished lunch? I heard it's going to rain in Yun City today. After eating, let her go home early. Lunch with Si. I rubbed my eyes and replied groggily. Auntie, did you send this to the wrong person? Ture. The next second, Su Hui's call came in. I hadn't even responded. The person on the other end hurriedly asked. Si Ning went to Yun City early this morning. Didn't she come looking for you? My drowsiness instantly vanished, replaced by a chill. I sat up from the bed. She came looking for me. I don't know. Auntie, please don't worry yet. I'll go back to the school gate right now. After saying that, I hurriedly climbed down from the bunk bed. If she's coming, she should still be at the school gate. I quickly changed my clothes and ran out of the dormitory. I rushed to the cherry blossom tree by the school gate and took a look. Sure enough, I saw a familiar figure. I ran quickly, panting as I reached Wen Si Ning. You came. Why didn't you let me know? The moment I came out, Wen Si Ning's gaze fell on me. Her eyes kept flickering. Brother has come out to see her again. But when she heard my question, she immediately pressed her lips together nervously. She didn't dare to meet my gaze. I didn't rush her and quietly waited for her to respond. Wen Si Ning's fingers kept fidgeting. This is her habit when she feels anxious. She stole a glance at me, seeing that I was still waiting for her. After a while, she replied while biting her lip. I don't want to see her. I was taken aback. Because I don't want to see her. So you'd rather stand at the school gate all day than tell me? When did I ever say I didn't want to see you? I want to defend myself. However, I stopped halfway through my words. I actually did say that. That was the graduation dinner the night after the exams ended. Wen Si Ning insisted on going with me no matter what. Plus, my parents kept advising me. So I had no choice but to take her along. Everyone in their teenage years has in their hearts a classmate they have a crush on. There are even classmates who confess and become a couple on the spot. Of course, I also liked a female classmate. I secretly glanced at her a few times during the dinner. But Wen Si Ning would never know what should be said and what should not be said. She directly asked on the spot. Brother Qing Yu, why do you keep looking at her? With more than 50 classmates in the class. The teacher immediately cast a teasing glance. It caused me to lose face on the spot. That female classmate glanced at me indifferently. She showed no reaction whatsoever. She even said to her teasing friend that we weren't familiar. The spring flowers were stifled before they even had a chance to bud. When I got home, I directly told my parents. I never want to see Wen Si Ning again. This should be considered one of the reasons for our fallout. And our last meeting. I shouted at her. I never want to see her for the rest of my life. I shook my head to pull my thoughts back from the memories of the past. Looking at Wen Si Ning, I said softly. That was in the past. I want to see you now. So next time you come to find me, you must tell me. Do you understand? I looked into her eyes and earnestly reminded her. It seemed like a brilliant flower bloomed in Si Ning's heart. She curled her lips and nodded emphatically. If she usually appeared dull and lifeless, her face was as cold as a glacier. Yet the smile she revealed at that moment was like the spring blooming after the melting snow, enchanting like flowers blossoming in spring. Students coming in and out of the school gate were wide-eyed. Even the driver who followed Wen Si Ning was astonished, his mouth agape. He quickly took out his phone to snap a picture of her smiling face. He clicked send. Su Wei, who received the photo, was so shocked that she almost dropped her phone. It fell to the ground with a thud. When she regained her senses, she was ecstatic. She was so excited that she wanted to print 20 or 30 copies to hang in every corner of her home. Wen Si Ning's smile had a captivating charm that could topple cities. Even though I merely regarded her as a friend, I couldn't help but blush. Not to mention such a beautiful girl was staring at me. As someone who has been single my whole life, how could I not be moved after 20 years? My gaze flickered unnaturally for a moment. Stop laughing. Wen Si Ning is also very obedient. NN is very obedient as well. She quickly pressed her lips into a line. She had a completely serious expression. I cleared my throat and patted my cheek. After the blush faded a bit, I spoke to her. How long have you been waiting here? Have you eaten lunch? She seemed to have something to say. She suddenly stretched out a finger and poked my cheek, frowning. I turned red. I quickly explained. This is not from being slapped. She tilted her head, looking confused. You. I felt embarrassed and gave a casual explanation. I ran and got really tired and hot. So that's why I'm blushing. Afraid she would ask more questions, I hurriedly changed the subject. You still haven't answered my question. Have you eaten? One question was missing. Wen Si Ning remembers that Qing Yu brother asked 2 questions. 1 hour and 20 minutes. I haven't eaten. I usually go out with friends. Just 5 minutes and I already felt my patience wearing thin. But she just stood there, completely still. I waited for over an hour. For a moment, an indescribable emotion welled up inside me. If I hadn't come out, would you have waited until it got dark? At 20 minutes past 8 in the evening, I went home. It was a 4-hour drive. By the time I got back to Lu City, it was already 11:30. I was taken aback. The noise was a bit harsh. You're going back so late. Won't Aunt Sue be worried? How could she not be worried? The driver, Lin Wei, who picked up Wen Si Ning, sighed. Every time the young lady comes to Yun City, the lady is so worried that she can't eat. She's afraid of the young lady having an accident, or having an onset of illness outside. But you know the young lady's temperament. Who else can persuade her besides you? I said in surprise. Has she come to look for me many times? Lin Wei nodded and said, yes. Since you came to Yun City for university, the young lady comes to see you every Tuesday. She said it was to see you. After coming back, she just stood at the school gate, doing nothing at all. not going in or calling you out. I guess it's because you said you didn't want to see her anymore. That's why she didn't dare to say anything. She could only come secretly, just to take a look at the school you're in. I am now in my 4th year, counting from the start of my enrollment. It has already been more than 3 years now. Over these 3 years, Wen Si Ning has come every Tuesday, 4 times a week, excluding winter and summer vacations. In total, that's over 110 times. She has come that many times. There's no way I wouldn't know. Suddenly, I remembered the gossip we used to talk about among classmates. At the school gate, it's common to see a beauty waiting for someone. Probably had a fight with her boyfriend. So she came here to wait. But even by evening, the boyfriend didn't show up. At first, this was quite fresh. Everyone was eager to know who the beauty was thinking about. Who on earth was the boyfriend she stood there for from morning till night? I didn't see my boyfriend. This girlfriend comes over every month and year. Gradually, everyone's novelty wore off. No one brought it up anymore. At that time, Chen Feng also pulled me. He said he wanted to take a glance back at how beautiful it was at the school gate. But when I got to the school gate, I didn't see any beauty at all. There was only a low-key luxurious black car parked by the roadside. At first glance, it was clearly not something an ordinary family could own. I suddenly turned my head. I looked at the small car that was coming towards Lin Wei. The small car I saw back then seemed to be exactly the same as this one. In my past life, I caught a glimpse of it on the bus. The small car I recognized at a glance was also this one. Was she also following me back then? No wonder she appeared at the scene. No wonder Si Ning used to be so clingy. But when I went to college, I realized she didn't cling to me anymore. I only thought maybe her condition wasn't that serious after all. Or perhaps she had been cured. It turns out that many things have traces to follow. Her illness has never improved. After thinking this through, I lowered my head, my eyes feeling raw. I asked softly, so why didn't I see her when I used to pass by the school gate? I never saw her. When Lin Wei said this, my heart felt a pang of bitterness too. Because she was hiding. She was afraid you'd say she was disobedient. But since last year, I've rarely seen you pass by the school gate again. Last year, I was lost in thought. I remember that I had a lot of courses in my junior year. I could only leave the school gate on weekends. By senior year, I had classes all day on Tuesdays. It was even less possible to leave the campus. So it was because she hadn't seen me for more than a year. So when I ran over to see her, I couldn't help but stop in my tracks. Did she not have time to hide? I pressed my lips together, feeling somewhat down. Wen Si Ning seemed to sense my low mood, her voice panicked. Brother Ching Yu. Don't cry, don't cry. She learned to comfort herself in the way I do. She tiptoed and patted my head. Lin Wei saw Wen Si Ning's actions. She felt a bit moved inside. She has been working at the Wen family for 4 years. She has been Wen Si Ning's driver for more than 3 years. After spending so long together, she already regards Wen Si Ning as family. Mr. Liu. Although it's inappropriate for me to say this, the young lady truly likes you. I tightly clenched my hand and then relaxed it. Finally, I pulled Wen Si Ning's hand that was resting on my forehead. I didn't cry. She's gone. I'll take you to eat. We arrived late. The dining hall only had some leftover dishes. I glanced around. There aren't any dishes that Wen Si Ning likes. So I just bought her a portion of fried rice to make do. Let's eat this first to fill our stomachs. If you get hungry later, I'll have the driver get you something to eat. Okay? After saying that, I pulled her to sit at the dining hall table. She took what I handed to her. She was eating slowly. I sat beside her. I recalled what Lin Wei had said. She really likes you a lot. Does Si Ning really understand what liking someone means? Does she truly understand what it means to like someone? She depends on me. It's only because of her illness. Once she recovers, she probably won't even want to see me. I called out to her. Wen Si Ning quietly looked at me with the sentence in her hand. Have you been to Dr. Liu's recently? Dr. Liu is an authority on treating autism in the country. He is also the doctor responsible for treating Wen Si Ning's condition. When she was 6 years old, Dr. Liu began treating her. Wen Si Ning frowned slightly upon hearing that title. She seemed a bit resistant to it. Seeing this, I gently asked again. Wen Si Ning pressed her lips together, looking rather unhappy. No, I wasn't surprised by this outcome. Her illness has never improved. She definitely hasn't sought treatment. I emphasized my voice a bit more. Why don't you go? Wen Si Ning tightened her grip on the sentence. Her brows furrowed, and her breathing became rapid. Suddenly, she started screaming. The fried rice on the table was knocked to the floor by her. The sudden onset of her illness left me stunned for a moment. The first to react was Lin Wei. She quickly ran over and hugged her. To prevent her from doing anything self-harming, I have medication in my pocket. Quickly take it out and give it to her. I nervously took out the bottle of medicine. I was just about to give her the medicine. Then I remembered what Dr. Liu had said before. Taking too many tranquilizers is harmful to both the body and the mind. I need to encourage her to calm herself down. The first step to help her recover is to reduce the frequency of taking medicine. Lin Wei tightly held Wen Si Ning and anxiously shouted. Who can persuade her when she has an onset of illness? I gritted my teeth, feeling anxious inside. I reached out my hands to cup Wen Si Ning's face. Si Ning looked at me. Her face was contorted, continuously writhing, trying to break free from the restraints around her. She looked extremely pained. I pressed her head down, repeatedly saying to her. The crisp voice echoed in her throbbing head. It was a voice she was familiar with. Brother. Bone. Brother is here. Wen Si Ning's fury gradually subsided. The ache in her head was also soothed. The first thing she said once calmed down was this. She pouted, looking aggrieved. I saw Wen Si Ning calming down, so I withdrew my hand. I apologized to the cafeteria aunt who was looking this way. I'm sorry. We'll wait here for the cleanup. Fried rice and broken pieces of bowls were scattered all over the floor. I felt bad making the cafeteria aunt clean it up. After saying that, I looked at Lin Wei with concern. How are you? Are you hurt anywhere? I was a bit anxious just now. I bumped into the table. Lin Wei raised her arm, revealing a bruise. Such injuries are common in the Wen family. Every time the young lady has an onset, someone needs to control her. After half an hour, both the maid and the young lady were covered in bruises. They are all used to it. I frowned slightly upon seeing the bruise. There is an emergency medicine kit in our dining hall. Take care of yourself. Lin Wei shook her head. This little injury is nothing. Before I finished speaking, I had already walked away. When I came back, I was not only carrying a medicine box, but also had a broom. You can apply the medicine yourself. I'll take care of cleaning up the trash. I handed the medicine box to Lin Wei. Then I picked up the broom and started sweeping. Although my expression was calm, Wen Xining could still sense that I was not feeling well. Brother. I didn't get a response. She suddenly felt a bit at a loss. Her fingertips nervously rubbed against her pants. Qing Yu brother was ignoring her. Lin Wei also noticed the subtle atmosphere between the young lady and me was a bit delicate, and didn't dare to say anything rash. Silently applying medicine on the side, lowering her sense of presence. Xi Ning tugged at my sleeve. The expression on her face was a bit distorted, unable to express her feelings and emotions consistently. She really disliked this feeling, but didn't know what to do. She could only call out to me helplessly. I pulled my sleeve out of her hand. I diligently cleaned up the fragments hidden in the corners. After I finished dealing with this trash, I turned around to look. Wen Xining looked like she was about to cry. I sighed inwardly. Only then did I reach out my hand to touch her head. Wen Xining's eyes instantly lit up. Her frustrated expression vanished. I said to her sternly, you just spilled the food I bought for you, and you hurt someone else. And it's not okay. Wen Xining apologized quickly. It was like a memory etched in her bones. In the past, when brother Qing Yu was angry with her, she had to say this phrase to be forgiven. I pointed to Lin Wei again. And her. Wen Xining immediately said to Lin Wei. Her apology came out extremely fast. It seemed to lack any sincerity. Lin Wei looked terrified. Country. After being forgiven, Wen Xining turned to look at me. She reached out again and tugged at my sleeve. After waiting for a moment and seeing me struggle to break free, she realized that I had forgiven her. The corners of her lips curled up, and her expression became happy. I looked at her and gently asked, why did you have a headache earlier? Was it because I said something I shouldn't have? If it was, I apologize to you. I'm sorry. Wen Xining shook her head anxiously. She wasn't angry with brother Qing Yu. You don't need to apologize. I reached out and gently patted her head. I know your headache was sudden, but next time, let's try to manage it better. Okay? Wen Xining nodded with a pitiful expression. When we came out of the dining hall, it had already been an hour. The originally clear weather suddenly turned gloomy. It seemed like a heavy rain was about to fall. I remembered Su Hui's reminder to let her go back early. I have classes in the afternoon. Can you come home early today? Wen Xining's cheerful expression suddenly disappeared in the previous moment. She wasn't very willing. But these are the words of brother Qing Yu. She had to comply despite her reluctance. The corners of her lips drooped downwards. She looked pitiful. I took her out of the school gate. On the way, I received a message from Chen Feng. He asked if I was immersed in female beauty. I forgot about the afternoon class. I let out a light laugh. I replied to the message while walking. Seeing my attention being distracted by my phone, Wen Xining's expression became even more pitiful. She looked just like a forgotten little kitten waiting for affection. Just as I was about to bump into the trash can in front of me, she quietly reached out her little hand. She tugged at my sleeve, pulling me to the side. To go around the obstacle, there was a little tree ahead. She tugged at my sleeve again. I also knew that I was replying to the message while trying to watch the road. I simply reached out and grabbed the hem of Wen Xining's clothes. Let her lead me. Looking at the hand gripping the hem, her low spirits suddenly lifted. This action was like when Qing Yu would play with others as a child, playing the game of eagle-catching chick. The chick must hold onto the hen's clothes, following the hen. The hen must protect the chick. Back then, she could only stand by the big tree. Now she can finally play with Qing Yu. She carefully looked after me. Until we reached the school gate, she still seemed a bit reluctant to leave. However, I had no idea about her emotional changes along the way. I was just surprised at how quickly her mood shifted. Before leaving, I said to Lin Wei, when you pass by any restaurant, just buy something for Wen Xining. Lin Wei looked a bit troubled. This Mr. Liu. You should buy it for the young lady. I'm afraid the things I buy she won't want to eat. She's really not trying to avoid it. Everyone knows the young lady's temperament. Even the things the lady buys for her she might not want to eat. But she knows that as long as Mr. Liu buys it, she will eat anything he buys. I thought so too when I heard it. But there aren't any restaurants this way by the school gate. I thought for a moment. I could only go to the nearby convenience store to buy a few breads for her. She can eat them on the bus. You know? Wen Xining hugged the breads like a treasure. She nodded obediently, tightly clutching the breads. I fell silent for a moment. I wondered if she had heard what I said. Before they left, I reminded her once again. However, Wen Xining had already embraced the breads, lost in her own world. By the time I arrived at the classroom, the darkened skies suddenly rumbled. It unleashed a long-suppressed downpour. I felt relieved that I had returned just in time. Raindrops hit the car, enveloped by a muffled sound of water. The sound of Xining's stomach growling was particularly clear in the car. Lin Wei chuckled lightly and casually said to her, "Miss, if you're hungry, you can have a couple of bread to fill up a bit." After a while, Wen Ning frowned unhappily. "Why? I want to eat. This is a gift from brother Qing Yu. If I eat it, it will be gone." Lin Wei became even more helpless. Mr. Lu's are even harder to bring myself to eat. Tuesday quickly arrived again. Tomorrow marks the holiday's first day. I had originally arranged with Wen Ning to come on Wednesday. I could also hitch a ride with her back home. But she still came on Tuesday. By the time I received the text, I was still in class. As soon as class ended, I ran straight to the school gate. Wen Ning silently calculated the time in her heart. As she silently recited this, her eyes looked toward a certain direction. A familiar figure appeared in the distance. Even if it was just a blurry outline, she fixed her gaze on that figure, the corners of her lips slightly rising. Brother Yu has come to see her again. I practically rushed all the way here. Why are you here today? Didn't we agree to change it to tomorrow? Zhou Si Tan lowered her gaze. Lin Wei noticed she didn't speak. Immediately, she helped to explain. It's a certainty that she comes every Tuesday. If her plans are disrupted, she would go crazy. I helplessly nodded my head. I remembered. There is indeed such a thing. Even during meals, the hand has to hold the chopsticks in a specific position. The degree to which they open each time must be precise. Once, when I was a child, it was my birthday. Everyone eats birthday cake ports BHAY. Little Si Xing discovered that it was not the usual chopsticks but a fork. She had an onset of illness right after eating the cake. Then let's go. We're going to the dining hall for lunch. After saying that, I took her hand and walked toward the dining hall. I didn't even realize it myself. How natural and habitual it was for me to hold Wen Ning's hand. Wen Ning's lips were beaming with a smile. Her fingers gently curled and held my hand in return. The flowers in my heart bloomed again and again. The next day, Wen Ning arrived at the school gate again around noon. But I had classes in the afternoon, so I could only let her wait until evening for us to go back together. However, I did pack my luggage. I arrived early at the school gate, dragging my suitcase. When I came over, I saw the sweat on her forehead, so I suggested, "It's too hot standing here. There's a milk tea shop along the road ahead. How about you go inside and wait for me there? You can enjoy the air conditioning too." Wen Ning didn't even look at the milk tea shop. She just shook her head. Lin Wei began to explain. "The young lady doesn't like crowded places." I reached out and patted her head. "Then you go back to the car and wait for me with the air conditioning on, okay?" Wen Ning seemed to really like this action, even when there were things she was reluctant about. As long as I patted her head, she would reluctantly agree. It was the same this time. Although she just wanted to stand by the door, she still obediently nodded and returned to the car. After Lin Wei placed my luggage in the trunk, she noticed the young lady's reluctance before getting in the car. She then comforted her with a few words. "Mr. Lu only has 2 classes in the afternoon. Just 2 hours. Let's play on our phones. It will pass quickly." As a result, when I turned back to look, Wen Ning had already fallen into her thoughts and was in a daze. The only response from the young lady was indeed entirely given to Mr. Lu. However, she still remembered my reminder. She quickly turned on the air conditioning and adjusted it to a comfortable temperature. A cool breeze blew in. My body and mind felt comfortable under the bright sun. Seeing that Wen Ning had no further instructions, Lin Wei took out her phone to watch videos and pass the time. Time gradually passed. It was still Wen Ning who noticed me outside the car first. Her eyes followed my figure. My figure filled her clear eyes. "Brother." A name I had already thought of thousands of times in my heart. The name slipped from her delicate lips. I walked over to meet Wen Ning's gaze. It was so profound and focused. Suddenly, I awkwardly cleared my throat. I opened the back door, sat down, and said softly, "What are you watching?" Wen Ning didn't say anything. Her gaze was still fixed on me. Lin Wei, who was playing on her phone, only realized I was done with class when she heard my voice. She hurriedly put down her phone upon realizing I had finished class. "Mr. Lu, are we going back to Lu City now?" Upon hearing her question, I nodded. "Thank you for your trouble." Saying this, she took out a bottle of mineral water and handed it to Lin Wei. The car was driving on the highway. I'm a bit sleepy, so I leaned back in the seat and slowly closed my eyes. I still remembered to remind Ning at the corner of my mouth. "I'm a bit sleepy, so I'll take a nap first. When we get to Lu City, remember to wake me up." She obediently nodded. However, I had already closed my eyes and didn't see anything. Nor did I see anything on the way back from Yun City to Lu City. Her gaze had never left me. After 4 hours of driving, we finally returned to Lu City. The night had already fallen in the sky. Just as the car was entering the highway exit, it bumped slightly over a speed bump. My head tilted, and I felt like it was going to fall over. The next moment, a hand reached over to support my head. The palm felt a bit cold. I instinctively twisted my head. I tickled Wen Ning's palm slightly. Her long eyelashes fluttered. Her cheeks flushed bright red. Lin Wei heard Wen Ning's voice. She turned her head to take a glance. She saw her looking nervous and at a loss. She couldn't help but chuckle inwardly. It was the first time she had seen that expression on her face. "Miss, you can rest Mr. Lu's head on your shoulder. That way he won't fall over," she suggested with a sly smile. Wen Ning blinked her eyes. The hand supporting my head gently lifted and placed it back on her own shoulder. I frowned a little, as it wasn't very comfortable for me. My head moved slightly. I found a comfortable position to rest it. The close distance allowed Wen Ning to clearly feel that I hadn't left her. The corners of his lips raised in joy. Her face looked like a flower in bloom. Brother Qing Yu had not left her. "That's great." After arriving at Wen's house and finishing dinner, I originally wanted to go home right away. But Wen's mother said it was too late, and asked me to stay at their home for the night. She would send me back tomorrow morning. I couldn't refuse and had no choice but to stay. But as soon as I arrived in the guest room that night, a figure appeared in front of me. There was an extra head by the hand. 2 sparkling eyes were looking at me. This line may be incomplete or context-specific, translation not provided. Sleep together. I decisively refused, and immediately scolded her. Josie immediately said. She pressed her lips together, looking quite aggrieved. Weren't we before sleeping together? Before I turned 12, we indeed slept on the same bed. But later, after I became aware of gender, I no longer let her sleep on the same bed. Now I looked at Wen Si-ning and explained. It's different now. You've grown up now. Adults should sleep on their own. Wen Si-ning frowned tightly. Growing up is not good. This line may be incomplete or context-specific, translation not provided. Growing up is annoying. I can't sleep with brother Ching Yu anymore. I smiled and nodded in agreement. Growing up is quite a celebration. Growing up can be cool. Then you should quickly go back to your own room now. She didn't move at all. Wen Si-ning remained still. She stood there still holding her pillow. I tried to find an opportunity to go in. I walked out of the room and turned to close the door. This cut off her thoughts. Where is your room? I'll take you back. She heard that I was going to my own room. Just a second ago, she looked disappointed about not being able to sleep together. But then her expression brightened instantly. It's on the 2nd floor. I've been a child since I was little. Many kids like to play with me. I invited my friends over to play at my house. Naturally, my friends would invite me to their houses as well. Little Si-ning also wanted to invite me to her house. However, because her speech was disjointed and incoherent, it was hard for her to express her thoughts. So she was never able to successfully invite me. But now I came to her house. We should go to her room to play. At the thought of this, Wen Si-ning excitedly grabbed my hand. She hurriedly led me into the bedroom. I didn't have time to refuse at all. As soon as we entered the room, I was drawn to what was placed in the corner of her room. A small teddy bear that caught my attention. The design of this toy seemed to be from over a decade ago. I used to really love this teddy bear when I was younger. But my family wasn't well off. They could only afford to buy me one toy. Now suddenly seeing this toy, I felt a wave of nostalgia in my heart. This teddy bear seemed to have been discontinued over 10 years ago. How did you get this? Wen Si-ning's eyes lit up. She picked up the teddy bear and stuffed it into my arms. Ching Jie. I was a bit confused. I waited for a while but didn't hear a response. However, soon, my attention was drawn away by the other things in the room. In the room, there is a glass display cabinet in the room. I saw familiar bread and a bottle of mineral water on it. There were also some other items. Small pebbles, moldy buns, Ultraman toys. I asked in confusion. Are these also gifts from others? Wen Si-ning shook her head. They were given by brother Ching Yu. I was somewhat surprised to hear this. I gave those to you. It's not enough to get a bright light. Could it be that everything in here was given by me? Wen Si-ning walked over. She pointed at the small pebbles and said, it's the money for playing house. Brother Ching Yu gave it to me. She then pointed at the buns. Breakfast. Then pointed at the Ultraman. Playing house. She remembers the source of all these items. She told me about each item in the cabinet. As I listened, my emotions began to grow heavy. Even the small pebble I gave her long ago has been kept for over a decade. Can I really help her illness get better? A finger reached over and poked my cheek. Why? Wen Si-ning also started to draw. I shook my head and just asked, is there something you want to do by yourself? At this point, she looked at me with sparkling eyes. I want to sleep with Ching Yu Jie. I helplessly waved my hand. Besides this, she continued to say, I want to play games with Ching Yu Jie. Everything she said was about me. I hurriedly interrupted. It's something you want to do. There's nothing about me in it. Wen Si-ning's face turned pale immediately. My head started to hurt again. Why isn't Ching Yu Jie here? She suddenly squatted down with her fists clenched. She kept hitting her own head. She was still mumbling in pain. Why? Seeing her abnormal state, I also know that she's having an onset of illness. I rushed over and cupped her face in my hands. I forced her gaze to focus on me. Her palms were sweating. Even my heart was in my throat. My lips were saying something nonsensical. It was completely thoughtless. I shouted at her with all my effort. Si-ning, I'm here. Look at me. Si-ning's pale face gradually regained its color. She saw that I was still there. Wen Si-ning pressed her lips together and directly hugged me. I don't want to leave brother Ching Yu. Just a few short words. I seemed to detect a hint of grievance in her voice. I just said, what if, earlier? I was just saying it casually. Don't get worked up. I gently patted her back to soothe her. Si-ning asked softly, what if it doesn't work? I quickly reassured her. Okay. I don't want to. But can we throw away this bun? It's all covered in mold. If she didn't say it was wrapped well, I really can't tell. I guess Su Wei also wants to throw it away. I had just finished speaking. She looked aggrieved again. I reached out to pinch her cheek. Throw it away. Can I get you a new gift instead? Upon hearing that, her lips puffed up. Her voice was muffled. Really? She nodded. Really? Until I reassured her multiple times. Only then did Si-ning reluctantly throw the bun into the trash can. As soon as the glass cabinet opened, the smell immediately spread in the room. She also threw away the other food items in the cabinet. She even called the maid to clean the smell in the room. Then she took the trash to the outside dumpster. Only then did she feel relieved. And Wen Si-ning, watching it being cleaned, The cabinet became empty all at once. Piteously pursed her lips. Ching Yu, brother, a new gift. Nodded. I'll remember that. It's really late. You should head back to sleep. I'm going back to my room to rest too. Just as I was about to go out, Wen Si Ning stuffed the teddy bear into my hands. This teddy bear is for you, Ching Yu, brother. I accepted the teddy bear. Thank you, very much. Went out. I ran into a very happy Su Wei in the corridor on the second floor. She heard the servant mention CC. She threw away the moldy and smelly stuff in the cabinet. She thought it was her own daughter. Seeing me come out of her room, only then did she realize it was my doing. She was about to say something and laugh about her daughter. The next moment, she noticed the teddy bear in my arms. She exclaimed in surprise. C finally gave you this teddy bear. I was a bit confused. Shu Yu. Su Wei continued speaking. This teddy bear has been bought for over 10 years, right? At that time, the little bear image was very popular. You would stare at it for a long time when you went out. One day, you had an argument with Si Ning. She insisted on buying it. I guess she planned to give it to you. But I don't know why she didn't give it to you. Su Wei was very willing to explain it to me. She also hoped that her daughter's image could improve in my heart. At night, when I was going to sleep, I lay in bed. I only then realized that there was indeed such a thing. At that time, I really liked this little bear. But my family's financial situation was not good. They couldn't buy the little bear for me. My mom felt sorry for me. So she sewed me an Ultraman doll with needle and thread. I was extremely happy when I received it. The little bear just wasn't as impressive as Ultraman. Ultraman was my favorite. At that time, little Si Ning heard what I said. Her little face wrinkled up in worry. So it was at that time? The first time staying overnight at Wen's house. I actually have a bit of a hard time getting used to a new bed. However, it might be that having a little bear beside me gives me a sense of comfort. I slept soundly without any dreams all night. By the time I woke up, it was already past 10. I suddenly sat up from the bed. I rushed to the bathroom to quickly wash up. I quickly went to wash up. I opened the door and was just about to step out, when I saw a figure standing in the hallway. This line seems to contain a typo or is unclear in its meaning. In the moment the door opened, the girl's dim, lifeless eyes suddenly brightened. She heard my question. Ning answered obediently. This line seems incomplete or contains a typo. I can't disturb you. Upon hearing this, I felt a bit awkward. It's a bit embarrassing to wake up so late while visiting someone else's home. I touched the back of my neck and replied, I'm sorry about that. I woke up late. Have you been waiting here for a long time? 3 hours and 28 minutes. She has always been sensitive about time. I was a bit surprised. Are your feet tired from standing? Next time, if you have to wait for me, just go sit on the couch in the living room. Don't stand here. Wen Si Ning shook her head. Then I could see brother Ching Yu at first sight. Wen Si Ning looked at me as I spoke. The words were so ambiguous yet sincere. I felt my cheeks flush at the sound. My gaze flickered, unable to look at her. Standing here for so long. You surely haven't had breakfast yet, right? Aunt Sue must be waiting for us in the living room. Let's hurry up and go out. After we came to the living room and had breakfast, I said goodbye to Su Wei and the others. I was getting ready to take a car home. Su Wei even instructed Lin Wei to drive me home. But I felt embarrassed to trouble anyone else. I insisted on taking a taxi back myself. Just before leaving, Wen Si Ning was still reluctant to part. She was tugging at the taxi window. I used my last tactic to entice her. If you let go, I will come to see you again tomorrow. Wen Si Ning's expression softened. Tomorrow. I nodded. I'll take you to get your hair done tomorrow, okay? I've wanted her to get her hair cut for a long time. But I'm also afraid she might not want to go. Si Ning nodded happily. Okay. Her smile brightened up again. I silently calculated how many hours were left until tomorrow. Then I turned to ask Su Wei. Auntie, is it okay? Su Wei was more than happy. Of course, it's fine. She neither wants to go get her hair cut, nor let me do it. Luckily, you're here. You can calm her down. I arranged a time with Wen Si Ning again. Only then could I finally take a bus home. Just as the car was about to drive out of the intersection, I instinctively looked back. C was still standing at the gate, stretching her neck to look at the car, not wanting to leave. Suddenly, I inexplicably felt that she at this moment was very much like the husband stone Chen Feng mentioned. The next day, Wen Si Ning called me early. Ching Yu Gerger, I'll come to pick you up. I immediately replied. Remember to call me when you arrive. Do you still remember where my house is? Although C often came to my house before. A lot. I don't know if she forgot the way. I remember. She answered very quickly. There was a hint of seeking praise in her tone. I wasn't stingy with my compliments towards her either. Her memory is truly remarkable. We chatted about some other things. After a while, I made the call. A little moment. Joe Sihong messaged me that he had arrived. I said hello to my mom and went downstairs. I saw her standing outside the car. The somewhat dull girl instantly became lively. I opened the car door. I urged Wen Si Ning to get in the car. Why weren't you waiting in the car for me? Isn't it hot standing outside? She shook her head and obediently sat in the car. Although she said that, I still saw beads of sweat forming on her forehead. I took a tissue out of my pocket and helped wipe her forehead. Wen Si Ning smiled and pointed to her neck. You need to wipe this area too. I raised my eyebrows. You've even learned to be insatiable. I handed her the tissue. Wipe it yourself. Sha Si Ning pouted in distress. Reluctantly, she took the tissue and wiped herself. Seeing her pitiful expression, I couldn't help but smile. Lin Wei started the car. Mr. Liu, where are you going now? I thought for a moment and then said, drive to the intersection ahead first. Let's stop there for a bit. I'll take Wen Si Ning to get her hair done. Lin Wei uncertainly parked the car at the intersection. She also got out of the car with us. There were many small shops along the roadside. The walls were bare concrete. If it weren't for familiar faces and regular customers, no one would come here to shop at all. I easily found my way to a small barbershop. Inside, an elderly man was sitting in front of the television. He was fanning himself with a large palm fan in one hand, staring at the television intently. I shouted to him as I entered the shop. Grandpa Joe, we're here to get a haircut. The old man turned around to look. Oh, it's Ching Yu. Didn't you go out during this holiday? He chuckled and got up. He even brought me 2 apples. I didn't hold back either. I casually grabbed an apple and started munching. I gave the other apple to Wen Si Ning. Seeing the light in her eyes, I just knew what she was thinking. I immediately reminded her. Eat it now. You're not allowed to take it back to save. If only I could. I really wish I could get rid of her habit of collecting. The thought that just popped into Wen Si Ning's mind was extinguished. She could only obediently take a bite of the apple. I think of my parents. So I didn't go out to play. Grandpa, I'm here this time to take Si Ning to get a haircut. Can you help her with a haircut? I pulled her over to the haircutting chair and sat her down. The elderly man prepared the haircutting tools while chatting with us. He was chatting with us. It's been so many years since we last met. Si Ning has grown so beautiful. If it weren't for Xiao Yu saying so, I wouldn't have recognized her at all. No translation needed. Appears to be a symbol or decoration. As she moved her hands, she seemed to want to pull the fabric away from herself. I stepped forward to loosen the fabric around her neck. Was it too tight around her neck? She didn't say anything. She continued to awkwardly tug at the fabric. Lin Wei's mood immediately tensed up. She stared at Wen Si Ning, fearing she might have an episode. She was also mentally prepared to hold her at any moment. I softened my voice and gently asked, what is the reason for that? You need to tell me, so I can help you solve it. Didn't you promise me that if something bothered you, you would tell me? Are you lying to me? Zhou Si immediately shook his head when he heard. She hurriedly shook her head. I don't like it. I don't like touching it. I don't like to be touched. I suddenly remembered. She really doesn't like being touched by others. I pretended to look at her angrily. But didn't you agree to get your hair cut yesterday? Are you having second thoughts? Wen Si Ning had a conflicted expression on her face. She doesn't like others touching her. But she promised Ching Yu that she would get her hair cut. Just when her cheeks were about to flush with anxiety, a warm hand held her palm. I'm holding your hand. You can let Grandpa help you with your haircut. Is that okay? Wen Si Ning tightly grasped my hand in response. She reluctantly agreed at that. The old man heard our conversation and said, I didn't expect that after all this time. Si Ning still relies on you so much. I tugged at my lips. I glanced at Wen Si Ning and didn't speak anymore. Seeing Wen Si Ning's emotions stabilize, Lin Wei's heart, which had been in suspense, finally relaxed. The old man cut hair very quickly. His technique was also very good. It was completed in no time. After cutting her bangs that covered her eyes, Zhou Sihang's delicate features were fully revealed. Her clear, beautiful eyes were less obscured without the bangs. She became even more beautiful and captivating. She stood up and kept widening her eyes to look at me. I noticed her behavior was a bit strange and asked, do you not like it cut this short? The corners of her lips lifted in happiness. I like it. For a moment, I couldn't tell what she meant. Was it that she liked getting her hair cut or that she liked me? All done. Her hair has been cut as well. Let's hurry and leave. After saying goodbye to the elderly man, I quickly pulled Wen Si Ning away. I was afraid that if we were late, we would be teased by Grandpa Joe. Back in the car, Wen Si Ning hung her head. She looked at her empty palms. She pursed her lips unhappily. We're cutting hair tomorrow. I explained to her. It's today. No need to cut tomorrow. Wen Si Ning seemed a bit confused. Why? I continued. Just a trim once a month will do. If you cut it every day, you'll end up bald. This is not good. She immediately scrunched her face in confusion. Inside, it felt like she was wrestling with something significant. I said to Lin Wei, let's go to the Central Mall. Turning around, I saw Wen Si Ning's face scrunch up again. I didn't need to guess. She was caught up in some trivial matter again. I casually asked, what are you thinking about? Wen Si Ning glanced at me. She didn't want to talk inside her mind. But then she remembered she had just promised to tell me something. It was hard to speak up. Cutting hair means I can hold hands with brother Ching Yu. I blinked. Because I can hold hands. So you want to cut your hair tomorrow, too? Wen Si Ning nodded and then seriously corrected me. It's every day. I found her adorably silly. I reached out and patted her head, laughing. Who told you that cutting hair allows you to hold hands? You can hold hands anytime you want. Now we can hold hands. Wen Si Ning's tightly furrowed little face instantly relaxed with joy. She reached out her palm towards me. Her face was full of anticipation for holding hands. I smiled. But I don't want to hold hands right now. Sha Si was pretending. Sha Si Ning's giggle was cute. She looked at me with a sense of grievance. The Central Market is a large grocery store. Many small vendors like to set up stalls here. They sell all sorts of strange and unusual items. Mom just sent a message. She asked me to buy a pot when I come back. I need to take it to the store to use tomorrow. And I came here too. Because the items here are cheap. I was just about to get out of the car. Then I saw Wen Si also move. I quickly tried to stop her. There are a lot of people inside, don't go in. Wait for me in the car. Wen Si Ning doesn't like crowded places. She also doesn't like being touched by others. There are so many people inside. What if someone accidentally bumps into her? It wouldn't be good if she has an onset and hurts herself or others. But she doesn't want to part with me. Brother Zhang, let Ching Yu go. I want to go too. I tried to convince her to stay. There are a lot of people inside. Wen Si-ning lowered her head. She just doesn't want to stay. Lin Wei spoke up to help her. Mr. Liu, why don't you take the young lady inside? With you there, the young lady surely won't have an onset of illness. Zhou Si immediately nodded in agreement. Her big eyes looked at me pitifully. She won't have a headache. Lin Wei was trying hard to speak for her lady. If the young lady doesn't go in, she's likely to have an onset of illness in the car. Nodded slightly. Onset of illness. I raised an eyebrow and crossed my arms. Is this a threat to me? If I don't take you in, you'll have an onset of illness. When did she learn to be this way? She anxiously tried to defend herself. There is. I haven't learned to be bad. Go in. Wait for Brother Qing. Brother Qing Yu is the most annoying. I can't learn by myself. Brother Qing Yu will dislike me. Lin Wei secretly felt regretful. She saw my expression soften. As a result, the young lady quickly complied. I chuckled softly. All right. Let's just go inside. But you have to tell me if your head hurts. I'll take you out then. She nodded enthusiastically with joy. Joyfully nodding. She immediately got out of the car and followed me. I worried she would get bumped into. As soon as we entered the mall, I held her hand to lead the way. She looked down at the hand I was holding. The little flower in her heart was blooming non-stop. After buying the pot my mom needed, we passed by the clothing vendor. Someone suddenly approached, holding a piece of clothing in front of us. Handsome guy, beautiful girl. Take a look at our clothes here. They're both cheap and good-looking. The enthusiastic sales pitch here startled Wen Si-ning. She quickly shrank back behind me. I promptly pulled the woman back. We're not buying clothes. Thank you. I quickly restrained the woman. You can still look even if you're not buying. You definitely won't find such good clothes at other places. The woman spoke as she pulled me to her small stall. She kept rummaging through the clothes on the rack. It could be a gift for this little beauty next to us as well. The little beauty will definitely like it. Wen Si-ning's eyelashes fluttered. Her eyes momentarily lit up. Wen Si-ning's eyes sparkled. I just knew what she was thinking. After promising to give her a new gift last time, she has been mentioning it repeatedly. The woman immediately seized the opportunity to sell. Yes. How about having this handsome guy buy you a piece of clothing? Seeing how much the little beauty likes this outfit, let's just buy her one. It's only $30, very cheap. I looked at Wen Si-ning. Do you like this dress? She nervously fiddled with the hem of her skirt. A gift. Promise to come in. All right. Consider it your reward for being obedient today. The reward of hair and no headache. I walked over. I picked a light-colored top from the rack. I held it up to her. Do you like this one? Wen Si-ning pressed her lips together and revealed a faint smile. I like it. She didn't even look at it. She likes everything that is my gift. I hesitated and picked up another top. This one seems pretty good too. Wen Si-ning continued. I like it. I seem to discover something. I furrowed my brows and grabbed a plastic bag. What about this one? The girl blurted out. I like it. I chuckled softly. A hint of confusion appeared in Wen Si-ning's eyes. She didn't understand what I was laughing about. I carefully compared the two pieces of clothing I had hesitated over. Wen Si-ning's likes hold no reference value. I'm afraid that if I gave her a leaf, she would treasure it and keep it safe. I hesitated for 2 minutes. I finally chose a blue dress. She always wears a white dress every time I see her. I wanted to change her outfit to a different color. It could add a bit of color, I suppose. Once everything was done, I parted ways with Wen Si-ning. We each went home. The 7-day National Day holiday passed quickly. In the blink of an eye, only the last day of the holiday was left. I wanted to spend more time with my parents, so I came to the breakfast shop at home to help out. But when I was packing buns for the customers, I suddenly saw Wen Si-ning standing at the shop entrance. She nervously shrank her neck, avoiding the gazes of others. Lin Wei was next to her, pointing at the buns in the steamer and laughing. Boss, buy 2 buns. We haven't had breakfast yet. I quickly packaged the noodles for other customers. I stepped over to her. It was already quite late. Why haven't you had breakfast? Can 2 buns fill your stomach? I said while grabbing a few more buns for them. Lin Wei quickly waved her hand. Mr. Liu, I have already eaten breakfast. It's the young lady who hasn't eaten. You took too many buns. I shook my head. The extra ones can be taken home by Wen Si-ning. Aunt Sue and Uncle Wen can also eat. As I spoke, I also handed her a cup of soy milk. Wen Si-ning had a faint smile at the corner of her lips, like a network delay. After a while, she opened her mouth to answer my question. To see Brother Qing Yu. A few words. An off-topic response. However, I understood the meaning behind her words. Because I want to see Brother Qing Yu. I was too anxious, so I didn't have time for breakfast. I handed her the bun. Are you looking for me about something? Wen Si-ning suddenly looked wronged upon hearing this. She held the bun silently. Lin Wei immediately explained. The holiday is almost over. Mr. Liu, you haven't contacted Miss in the past few days. So Miss is a bit unhappy. I thought for a moment, and realized that it really is true. I was too busy at home, so I completely forgot about her. I felt a bit embarrassed. I'm sorry, I forgot. Other customers came in one after another. I didn't have time to chat with Wen Si-ning anymore. I could only ask her to wait for a bit. I turned around and went to help. However, this wait lasted until noon when we closed up. I was cleaning up the tables. Looking at Wen Si-ning standing at the edge of the shop door, I felt even more sorry. My mom also turned to take a look. Wen Si-ning is here to see you, right? She seems to have been standing there for quite a while. You should go out with her. My dad and I can handle the cleanup. After saying this, my mom took the cloth from my hand. I smiled and went out to stand in front of Wen Si-ning. Aren't you tired? Let's go find a chair to sit down. Wen Si-ning shook her head and nodded. She's not tired, but she wants to sit with brother Qing Yu. There's a park about 300 meters ahead of the breakfast shop. I led her outside. The two walked side by side. Our hands occasionally brushed against each other. She looked at my hand. Her brows were furrowed, as if she was troubled by something. Finally, on the 10th encounter, she couldn't help but ask, "Do you want to hold hands today?" I was stunned for a moment. It took me a moment to realize what she meant by that. I had said before that if she wanted to hold hands, she could. I chuckled softly to myself and then shook my head. She lowered her head in disappointment. When does brother Yu want to hold hands? She thought wildly in her mind. Before long, we arrived at the park. I glanced at the time and then made a plan. Let's take a break first. We'll go have lunch later. I'll take you home after lunch. She nodded. Suddenly, she remembered something. She hurriedly pulled out a note from her pocket and handed it to me. This line appears to be a non-standard phrase. It may require context for accurate translation. I unfolded the note in confusion. I saw that it listed about 20 or 30 small points. I want to meet Lu Qing Yu every day. I feel very happy when I see Lu Qing Yu. Lu Qing Yu ignores me. This line appears to be non-standard. It may need further context for translation. She wrote many lines. Wen Si-ning answered seriously. This line appears to be non-standard. It may require context for accurate translation. My memories resurfaced. I recalled the question I asked her last time at the Central Mall. Do you know what it means to like someone? She said she knew. But I didn't take it to heart. She thinks differently from normal people. What could she possibly know? But now she took out a sheet of paper. It was filled with examples to show me. This is her way of liking. I looked at the sheet covered in black words. I was so shocked that I opened my mouth. The words were on the tip of my tongue, but I didn't know what to say. You've been writing this for the past few days. Wen Si-ning nodded proudly. Her eyes looking at me were bright and clear. I like brother Qing Yu. I like Chong Ji Yu. My mind felt like it was turned into a mush. I had no idea how to respond. You wait for me here for a moment. I'm going to the restroom. I suddenly stood up and walked toward the public restroom. My figure stumbled and swayed, as if I were fleeing in panic. In the restroom, I stood in front of the mirror, my thoughts in chaos. Two little figures in my mind were arguing. One little figure said, "She is a person with autism. She doesn't even understand the most basic social interactions. How would she know what liking someone means? The contents on the paper must have been written randomly. Don't take it too seriously." The other little figure said, "When she had the accident in her past life, she would rather go to death with you than leave. Doesn't that prove her affection? You have known her for over 20 years. Don't you know she never lies?" However, the two little figures argued for half an hour. They still couldn't come to any conclusions. I also realized I had been here for too long. I anxiously rubbed my head. Then, I turned on the faucet again. I splashed some water on my face. After calming down, I left. Wen Si-ning just sat dumbly in the chair. Her blank eyes stared at the ground. I had no idea what she was thinking in her own world. I took a few steps closer. Only then did I notice a few kids standing around her. They were making faces at her. They were laughing and shouting playfully, "Baby, baby, la la la." She showed no reaction at all. Her arms dangled loosely on her legs, swaying. In the face of the kids' mockery, she was as quiet as a soulless puppet. Lin Wei didn't come with us into the park. After I left, there wasn't anyone to take care of Wen Si-ning. Those kids are getting more and more outrageous. Seeing her motionless, they even reached out to hit her. I was so angry my teeth were clenched, and just as I took a step, a voice called out from behind me, "Lu Qing Yu." I turned around and saw a familiar face. Meng Yu Ting. The person who was a major reason for my rift with Wen Si-ning. They are also the ones I have liked before. After seeing my face, Meng Yu Ting had a moment of daze. Suddenly thinking 3 years have passed. I unexpectedly became so strikingly handsome. She suddenly felt a bit regretful. Why hadn't she noticed my handsomeness before? "What are you doing here?" Meng Yu Ting stepped forward with a smile. She seemed to want to be friendly with me. I casually responded, "Just came here to sit with a friend." Then I turned my head back to Wen Si-ning. Those kids have stopped hitting her. But they are still nearby, laughing and joking. Their words are harsh to hear. I can't help but frown. Meng Yu Ting followed my gaze. She also saw the woman sitting on the bench. She frowned with a hint of disdain in her voice. "You're still with this baby?" My voice turned cold. "She's Si-shing. Not a baby." I can't believe I would speak up for Wen Si-ning. Clearly, the last time we met, I was very much Si-shing. I even argued with Si-ning in front of her. She slightly curled her lips, showing a faint sneer. "You don't actually like her, do you?" I coldly retorted back. "This is none of your business." Meng Yu Ting's expression suddenly turned ugly. "Indeed, it's none of my business. But this baby likes you so much. You two would be a perfect match if you were together." I paused and looked at her calmly. "Ya Ting and Meng Yu Ting. Now that I think about it, I'm really grateful you didn't like me back then." That fleeting crush from high school was completely snuffed out. In this moment, it vanished completely. After saying that, I turned and walked towards Wen Si-ning. Meng Yu Ting's expression was dark and gloomy. Clearly, she was the one who didn't like me back then. Now, it seems like she's the one who has been dumped. She couldn't help but shout at me. "What do you mean by that? Carrying a baby all day? Who would like you?" However, no matter how much she shouted to salvage her dignity, no one paid her any attention. I returned to Wen Si-ning's side. The first thing to do was to catch those little troublemakers. But I could only grab one child with each hand. The other kids saw this and immediately scattered. Who told you to mock this big sister? Apologize immediately. If you don't apologize, I'll have your parents come and apologize. My tone was serious and cold. The two children were instantly frightened and cried out loud. The children's mother came in response to the sound. She hugged the children tightly and comforted them. Then she pointed at me and scolded. What's wrong with you? At your age, you still dare to bully children? Do you have no sense of shame? I coldly retorted. Then I want to ask how you teach your children. With such a small mouth, it's so venomous. Do you have any upbringing? The two women were left speechless by my retort. They led the children away in a hurry. It's also the first time you've seen me so fierce. They sat on the chair in shock for a long time. Their eyes were fixed on me. They also found it a bit novel. Until I managed to sell those two. She then walked over and held my hand. Brother Wah, no. Brother Ching Yu, don't be angry. She awkwardly patted my shoulder. She was indignant on my behalf. Bullying Brother Ching Yu is bad, I said a bit angrily. They didn't bully me at all. They're the ones bullying you. She responded with a shout. She didn't care about this matter. As long as it's not bullying Brother Ching Yu, it's fine. I felt like I could understand what she was thinking inside. Anger flared up again. They can't bully you either. Next time you see someone scolding you, you should scold them back. Do you understand? Zhou Si nodded as if she understood. Wen Si Ning nodded as if she understood. Just don't be angry. Let her do anything. Seeing her like this, I murmured. Forget it, you wouldn't understand if I told you. Next time you go out, you must have Lin Wei by your side to watch you. Then I pulled her away from the park. After the interference of this incident, I just received that paper from Wen Si Ning. Instantly forgotten by me. The next day was the last day of the National Day holiday. Luckily, I bought a bus ticket. I no longer need to trouble Wen Si Ning. Shen Wei also knew that today was my return to school. During breakfast, she specifically asked Wen Si Ning. Lu Ching Yu is going back to school today. Let's go to the station to see him off. Wen Si Ning's slender eyelashes fluttered. She happily nodded. Moments later, she shook her head in disappointment. Shen Wei was taken aback, not understanding why her daughter's emotions suddenly dropped. But her daughter didn't want to go. Then let Lin Wei not prepare. Wen Si Ning remembered the time right after the breakup. She kept sending me messages at home. But there was an extra. A red exclamation mark that I had never seen before. She didn't understand what kind of luck that was. But she sent many messages. Ching Yu didn't respond to her at all. Brother is angry. She just can't get up. Brother will forgive her. But this time she said sorry multiple times. Brother is still angry. She must have done something wrong. She always makes Ching Yu angry and doesn't want her anymore. C tightly gripped her phone, her face growing even paler. Her head started to ache as well. She banged her head against the table in front of her. Her eyes turned red, and she seemed completely out of control. Ever since I took the bus back to school. In a room on the second floor of the Wen house. Wen Si Ning sat dazed in a chair. No one knows how long she sat there. No one could guess what she was thinking. Suddenly, the phone on the table lit up with a chime. Pulled her thoughts back. Those vacant eyes, which were so pitiful, suddenly filled with color. That was the special reminder she set for me. I told Wen Si Ning that I arrived after I got there. I then went to have a nice meal with my roommate. But I didn't expect that I would have an allergic reaction. I even had to be hospitalized. The next day, when I woke up, I opened my eyes and saw Wen Si Ning sitting at my bedside. Seeing that I was awake, the girl immediately spoke up. Lu Ching Yu. Her voice was a bit hoarse yet cheerful. Where are you? I was quite surprised by her appearance. I moved my body, wanting to sit up. Only then did I realize that my hand was tightly held by her. My cheeks suddenly flushed with an unusual red. Fortunately, the redness on my face covered up my shy expression. I withdrew my hand. But Wen Si Ning immediately held it again. Her grip was even stronger than before. Don't move. Wen Si Ning's cheeks showed a hint of seriousness. Si Xing's cheeks revealed a bit of emotion. I was taken aback for a moment. I've never seen her look like this before. A reaction came over me. The hospital room door was pushed open. My brother Chen Feng ran excitedly in front of me. Ching Yu, you're awake. Do you feel any better? Are you hungry? He babbled on about a lot of things. He even squeezed our hands apart. Si frowned unhappily. There was a hint of hostility in her eyes. I replied, all right, although my body is still a bit itchy. It's much better than last night. The doctor said you might be allergic to this raw fish. Be careful from now on. After saying that, Chen Feng became frustrated again. If I had known, I wouldn't have asked you to go. I comforted him. It's not your fault. I didn't know I would get sick either. Chen Feng nodded sadly and continued. By the way, the doctor also advised you not to move around too much. Stay in the hospital for observation for 2 more days. Discharge only after the condition improves. I nodded. I realized it only after the fact. I understood that no movement meant. It turns out it was the doctor's advice. I glanced at Wen beside me. Chen Feng whispered in response. It's her. She called you many times last night. I thought something urgent had happened. So I answered for you. I also mentioned your situation to her. Who would have thought she would come overnight? She arrived around 5 or 6 in the morning. She's been waiting here and doesn't want to leave. Then you woke up. Then I'll go buy you 2 lunches. I nodded and said thank you. After Chen Feng left, only the 2 of us were left in the ward. As I turned my head, I met her gaze which was fixed on me. My eyes flickered down to the ground. My gaze shifted uneasily. I looked for a topic to discuss. Did you go out last night? Does Aunt know? She nodded. Yes, she knows. By the way, Chen Feng just said. You called me many times last night. Is there something going on? She pursed her lips. Her expression seemed a bit aggrieved. Older brother replied to the message. I picked up my hand to check. When I took a look at my hand, I realized she sent herself over a dozen messages last night. However, all the messages were the exact same thing. It left people puzzled. I looked at the weather forecast like messages Wen Xining sent. I asked strangely, what does this mean? She replied, I wanted to send it to brother Qing Yu. She had been talking to brother for a long time last night. Every time she thought of him, she sent a message. But I didn't reply at all. She was sad for quite a while. But brother Qing Yu said she's been very busy lately. There was a lot to write. She might not have seen her phone. So she called again. I knew I was ill. It wasn't that brother Qing Yu really missed her. But brother Qing Yu was ill and it was not good. Wen Xining's brows were tightly knit, her face full of conflict. I asked cautiously, because you miss me? But you didn't know how to express it. I felt a rush of emotions. I nodded in response. I occasionally receive weather updates from her about Yun City. I thought that was just for her own reminders. To remind herself to take sunscreen and an umbrella. So it was because she missed me? Last night she sent so many good messages. Was it because she really missed me? Suddenly, I remembered again. That paper filled with little notes saying she liked me. My cheeks involuntarily flushed. My eyes also darted around in panic. Qing Yu, your face is so red. I suddenly became flustered. I stood up quickly. I was about to rush out. I quickly grabbed her. Where are you going? She said anxiously. To find a doctor. Qing Yu is sick. I pulled her back. It's not an illness. Only then did she calm down. She stared at my cheeks, looking perplexed. It's not because I'm sick. Then why are your cheeks so red? I didn't reply. I just tilted my head to avoid her gaze. I also slightly covered my face with my palm. Don't look. There are many red spots on it and it's ugly. Wen Xining pulled my hand away. Not ugly, very handsome. I like looking at brother Qing Yu. Her expression seemed to recognize me. As if I were the most handsome person in the world. Always capturing her gaze. My heart trembled and I opened my mouth. Before I could speak, I was interrupted by the sound of the door opening. Chen Feng came in holding 2 lunchboxes. I'm back. You must be hungry, right? Come on, eat quickly. Let's eat at the lunch place. I wanted Wen Xining to go back to Lu City. But she refused to leave no matter what. She insisted on staying to take care of me. Lin Wei had no choice but to book a room in a hotel here. So she would have a place to rest. However, Wen Xining didn't want to go anywhere except the hospital. She didn't want to go anywhere else. There is a hidden presence in the hospital room. At night, when going to sleep, Xining lies on the sofa, resting. The sofa is a bit short. She needs to curl up her legs to lie down. It looks a bit pitiable. I tugged at the blanket on me. I turned my body on the hospital bed. No matter what, I couldn't fall asleep. However, when I turned, I met her glass-like eyes. I asked, can't sleep? Xining's voice was very soft. Like a gentle breeze brushing past my ear. Occasionally, the electronic sound of a bed call would ring out from the hallway. There were also the sounds of footsteps. I could completely ignore this noise. But these sounds were amplified hundreds of times in Xining's ears. They were magnified hundreds of times. She has many issues. For example, when she sleeps, there mustn't be a single sound around her. At this moment, I remembered this issue of hers and said immediately, I asked Lin Wei to pick you up. Let's go sleep at the hotel over there. The hospital over there is quiet. Wen Xining firmly refused. I just want to sleep obediently and not be left alone. After saying that, she tightly closed her eyes. She forced herself to sleep with a frown. I sighed and waved at her. Wen Xining. Hearing this, she got up and walked to my side. She looked at me with a pitiful expression. Don't drive me away. I sat up and looked at her, acknowledging her. I just wanted to ask what to do. I was just asking how to handle this. Your head won't hurt. Upon hearing this, Wen Xining smiled. She instantly became happy. She took my hands and covered them over her ears. This way, it won't be noisy. A trace of confusion crossed my eyes. Is this really enough? She nodded emphatically. Then you cover your own ears. Go back to sleep then. After saying that, I withdrew my hands. Wen Xining pouted. She wanted brother Qing Yu not to be noisy. I stared at her for a moment. After confirming she wasn't lying, I finally covered her ears again with my hands. But how am I supposed to sleep like this? I hesitated for a moment and shifted to the side. The bed is for her. I gave her half of the bed. Sleep here, but don't move around. Wen Xining's eyes sparkled with excitement. She could sleep with brother Qing Yu again. The hospital bed was already very small. 2 people lying on it need some adjustment. I accidentally brushed against her body. A distinct, soft, sweet feminine scent wafted towards me. It increased a bit. The last time I lay on the same bed with Wen Xining was back in 6th grade. I used to think we would never have contact again. I never expected that now we were sleeping on the same bed again. Just like before, I had to coax her to sleep. Can I get a master, please? We were very close together. When Wen Xining spoke, I could even feel the slight rise and fall of her chest, and the warm breath that brushed against my ear. I shrank my neck, my cheeks burning. If you're not tired, don't speak. Go to sleep soon. Otherwise, you can go back to the sofa and sleep alone. As soon as Wen Xining heard this, she immediately closed her eyes and fell asleep. I adjusted my sleeping position, and started to fall asleep again. It would be hard to fall asleep alone. But I kept my eyes closed for long periods. I soon fell into a dream. Chen Feng was worried about me. He came to see me early in the morning. He even brought 2 breakfasts with him. However, as soon as he pushed open the ward door, He was shocked to see the two of us hugging and sleeping on the bed. He was so surprised that he almost jumped on the spot. I was disturbed, and my brows furrowed. Wen Si-ning gently patted my back. My brows gradually relaxed. I turned away and continued, watching our movements, so intimate. Chen Feng was about to roar back. His hand quickly met Si-ning's gaze. She raised her index finger to her lips, making a gesture to silence. Chen nodded in agreement. The shock on his lips hadn't yet formed words. It was forced down into his stomach. He placed breakfast on the table. He immediately turned and left the ward. While waiting for the elevator, Chen Feng finally couldn't help but cover his mouth. He whispered for Shui. Lu Qingyu still wouldn't admit he liked her. This is sleeping on one bed 7. Returning is in his eyes. I rubbed my eyes. Waking up groggily from a dream. Turning around, my head bumped into something soft beside me. Si-ning's skin was fair, her features radiant. In silence, she exuded a unique ethereal and cool feeling. You can't tell at all that she has autism. I looked up and saw Wen Si-ning's face. I was stunned for a moment before responding. I slept in the same bed with her last night. I anxiously glanced left and right. At that moment, Wen Si-ning also came down. She stood beside me, looking at me with confusion. She didn't understand my actions. What is Brother Qingyu looking for? I ruffled my messy hair. I hurried into the bathroom. Someone got up. I'll go wash up first. I stayed in the bathroom for a few minutes. When I went out, I took the breakfast out of the bag. I walked over and asked, when was the breakfast brought? 34 minutes ago. At that time, I seemed to still be asleep. Then I had a bad feeling. It couldn't be that Chen Feng brought it, right? Sure enough, I quickly took out my phone. Messages flooded in, popping up everywhere. All of them were from Chen Feng. Some questioned me about why I slept with Si-ning. Some were so shocked they were babbling. Others were angrily shouting things I had hidden from my brothers. I could only explain it with great effort. I had to selectively ignore it. The allergy on my body came on suddenly. Fortunately, after 2 days of hospitalization and IV treatment, my symptoms improved a lot. The doctor prescribed medication for a few days, and then allowed me to be discharged. After my discharge, Lin Wei also happened to be taking Miss back to Lu City. Young Master Lu, I heard you were being discharged today. Have all the procedures been completed? If not yet, then I'll go take care of the paperwork for you. I can also drop you off at school on the way. I stood up and said, actually, I haven't finished my paperwork yet. You and Si-ning wait for me here for a moment. I'll go right now. I was just so focused on teasing Wen Si-ning that I completely forgot I hadn't finished my discharge procedures. Lin Wei suggested aloud, young Master Lu, why not let Miss handle the paperwork for you? It would also be a good opportunity for her to practice her social skills. This would benefit her recovery as well. I will also watch the young lady from the side. It will be fine. I listened to Lin Wei's words. I also thought it was that way. Encouraged, I nodded dizzily, hearing that it was to handle things for me. Without a second thought, I agreed. I handed her my bank card, ID, and so on. I also told her the various steps. After saying that, I still felt uneasy. Did you understand? Wen Si-ning looked at me. She suddenly said firmly, I'll go. The task that Brother Qingyu gave her. I can only ask Lin Wei to keep an eye on her. Payment hall. There were long lines at each payment window. A crowd of people. Seeing this, Wen Si-ning, the step she had just taken shrank back. Her palm was tightly gripping the bank card. Standing in place, her gaze was evasive. CA 2010. Lin Wei encouraged. Aren't you going to handle the paperwork for young Master Lu? Let's go over and line up. Wen Si-ning suddenly became anxious, biting her lip tightly. Lin Wei felt a sense of dread in her heart. She immediately called me. Groups of 2 or 3 people passed by Wen Si-ning. Her face gradually turned pale. It seemed as though a few silver needles were endlessly piercing her head, making it hurt more and more. The figure in front of her gradually became blurry, right at the edge of her consciousness collapsing. An urgent voice drilled into her ear, smoothing the agitation in her heart. Si-ning, can you hear me? She came to her senses and took Lin Wei's phone. Pressing it to her ear, she said resentfully, please, brother you, so many heads have fallen. Don't be afraid. Do you remember when we lined up for food in the dining hall? There were many people too. But you overcame it all. You can do it this time too. I slowed my voice and kept talking to her. A trace of fear flashed in her eyes. But there are so many people. I gently encouraged her. You are holding your phone. I'm talking to you. Just like I'm standing in line with you. Okay? Wen Si-ning looked at the crowd ahead. Her expression was hesitant. It was only with my encouragement that she slowly took a step forward. She reached the back of the line and stood still. She lowered her head and looked at the floor. She avoided other people's gazes. Brother, I'm here. The line is already formed. Are you not scared anymore? The tension in Si-ning's body gradually eased. Her lip, which had been bitten, lifted slightly. With Brother Qingyu by her side, she felt safe. Just as she was talking to me, the line was slowly getting shorter. About 20 minutes later, it was her turn. The staff at the counter said, hello, miss. Could you please provide your information and documents? Si-ning's eyes flickered with fear. Standing in place, she clenched her palms and didn't speak. The staff thought she didn't hear them. They repeated it again. Lin Wei hurried over. Miss, please place the documents in your hands on the window. Hand them to the staff. That'll be fine. I heard the voice from over there and spoke to her. Can you help me hand the documents to the staff? Wen Si-ning's long eyelashes fluttered. Finally placed the materials on the window. Only then did she slowly say, okay. The procedures were completed. Wen Si-ning handed the bill to me. She looked at me, her eyes sparkling with tiny flecks of light. There was a hint of pride in her expression. It seemed she was waiting for my praise. I smiled and ruffled her hair. Really impressive. You can handle things on your own now. I'll need to rely on you for other things in the future. Sean D nodded. Leave it to me. After that, I took their car back to school. When we parted at the school gate, although we have been together for 2 days, Wen Si Ning still doesn't want to leave much. I patted her head and said, the day after tomorrow is Tuesday. Aren't you going to come over? We can still see each other then. NN Ning said in a disappointed tone. Brother Ching Yu is busy and can't meet. I remained silent. After returning to school from National Day, my studies are indeed very busy. Several times I told Wen Si Ning not to come over, because I didn't have time to see her. After pondering for a moment, I slowly spoke up. I was busy last month, but I am done now. Come over on Tuesday, and I will continue to take you to the dining hall to eat. I promise you. I stretched out my pinky towards Wen Si Ning. The promise of pinky swearing must be fulfilled. Wen Si Ning also extended her pinky. The pinky swear was completed. Only then did she leave satisfied. Returning to the dormitory building, I had just come out from the stairs. I saw 4 or 5 boys gathered by the doors of the first 2 dormitories. It seems they were discussing something. Chen Feng saw me come back. He ran over excitedly and tackled me. He celebrated my discharge from the hospital. I felt lonely during the days you weren't in the dorm. I was so lonely by myself. My neck felt constricted, making it hard to breathe. Chen Feng let me go and stood aside to complain. Your waist is so fragile. What's wrong with the bed? Let's exercise more. I gave Chen Feng a roll of my eyes. By mid-November, Yun City had already entered winter. The weather is getting colder day by day. The temperatures are dropping day by day. In the morning, I woke up. I have to wear a thick sweater and coat. My phone shows the weather forecast sent by Wen Si Ning. This time, there is an added temperature after the forecast. Yun City is sunny today, degree C. She is thinking of me. I breathed into my hands. To warm up my frozen hands. Only then could I type a reply. Remember to wear more clothes when you go out today. There's also a sweater. Her reply is as brief as always. Today is Tuesday. Wen Si Ning should be getting ready to come find me. For some reason, I suddenly feel a bit excited for noon to arrive. The bell for lunch class rings. I'm tidying up my books. Then I run out of the classroom. Other classmates give me strange looks. That departing figure. And Chen Feng is no longer surprised by it. I arrive at the school gate. Wen Si Ning is indeed waiting for me. As I come closer, I notice something different about her. She is wearing a fitted knitted dress. The design is simple but accentuates her figure. On top, she has a thick cream-colored coat. She has also curled her hair. Just standing there, she exudes a quiet sweetness. Many boys passing by turn their heads to sneak a glance. At first, I also squint my eyes. After a long while, I finally reacted and asked, this is the outfit Aunt Sue picked out for you. According to her habits, she wouldn't match it like this. Si Ning nodded and stared at me intently. She asked seriously, does Brother Ching Yu like it? Mom said that if she wears it like this, Brother Ching Yu will definitely like it. Looking at her serious little face, I had a feeling that she wasn't just asking if I liked the clothes, but was instead asking if I liked her. I changed my response and said, it's very pretty. Although I didn't use the word, like. Hearing me say it was pretty, Wen Si Ning still smiled happily. I seemed to understand what she was thinking. I began to persuade her. Your own clothing style should depend on what you like, not on what I like. Do you understand? But if Brother Ching Yu likes it, then I like it too. Wen Si Ning's eyes were filled with determination. It felt as though her world changed because of me, including joy, anger, sorrow, and happiness, all governed by me. I opened my mouth, my expression somewhat complicated. The words I couldn't say finally turned into a sigh. Let's go eat in the dining hall. Once her condition improves a bit, I'll talk to her about these things later. Just like the way adults often teach children. You'll understand when you grow up. Perhaps when Wen Si Ning gets better, she will let me go. I distractedly thought about taking her to the dining hall. The next second, my clothing was tugged. Here, big brother. She handed me a thermos. My gaze was drawn to her beautiful outfit. Until she spoke. Only then did I realize she was holding a thermos. What is this? I took the thermos. The silver wall of the thermos had a little bear sticker on it. It felt a bit familiar. I opened the lid and steam rose up. Wen Si Ning's response followed soon after. Intestine dumpling. Teddy bear dumplings. It was filled with a bucket of teddy bear-shaped dumplings. The dumplings had puffed up, changed shape, and cracked a bit. The black sesame filling oozed out around it. It looked exactly like the teddy bear dumplings I remembered. My voice choked. I struggled to make a sound. Did you buy this? A faint smile graced Wen Si Ning's face. I made it. It's for you, Brother Ching Yu. I stood frozen, staring at the dumplings. The dumplings that were sent to me in my past life. There was also a teddy bear sticker on the thermos. It was the same as the one in front of me. I thought the dumplings were made by my mom. It turns out that they were also personally made by Wen Si Ning. She sent them to me through someone. I stared at the dumplings in a daze, unable to speak. Wen Si Ning couldn't understand the complex emotions. I just feel like I don't talk. That means I don't like it. She pressed her lips together. Bring the dumplings back, she said, feeling a bit down. Throw it away. I snapped back to reality and asked in confusion. Why would you throw it away? Brother Ching Yu doesn't like it. Then it has to be thrown away. I snatched the dumplings back and held them carefully. Who said I don't like it? If it's given to me, it's mine. At these words, Wen Si Ning's eyes lit up. She was as happy as a blooming flower. I brought the dumplings back to the dorm. I finished eating them with great enjoyment. Entering December. The weather is getting colder. Coming to look for me again. She stood at the school gate waiting for me to finish class as usual. A boy kept glancing at Wen Si Ning. Finally, he shyly walked up to her. Hey, hello. Are you here waiting for someone? Si Ning looked at the teaching building ahead, silent. If you look closely, you might even notice. Her gaze was hollow and lifeless, unlike that of ordinary people. However, the boy shyly couldn't look directly. He just kept asking. I have no other ill intentions. I just wanted to see if I could get your contact information. A voice kept echoing in my ears. Wen Si Ning frowned and moved her eyes. She finally looked at the source of the noise. Lin Wei was making a phone call in the car. Out of the corner of my eye, I caught a glimpse of Wen Si Ning at the school gate. Unexpectedly, this glance. It scared me so much that I almost dropped my phone. She hurriedly hung up the phone. She immediately got out of the car and ran over. I heard the boy's last words. Sorry, our young lady doesn't like to talk. But she already has a boyfriend. The boy mumbled quietly upon hearing this. If she has a boyfriend, why not just say it directly? Lin Wei smiled awkwardly. I didn't know how to respond. When I hurried to the school gate after class, I saw Wen Si Ning talking to a boy. My steps paused for a moment. My feelings were somewhat complicated. As I walked toward the school gate, the boy was just waving goodbye to them. We brushed past each other. I turned my head and glanced at him carefully a few times. He is a handsome and clean-looking boy. If she didn't have autism, and wasn't reliant on herself, would she like this type of boy?